Hello to anyone who's watching. I am going to be streaming. It's just some work I've been doing to get myself working on some macros that I've been intending to for a long time. Stop on by and ask questions, comments, concerns that you might have about Augmented. Not part of BTC at all, but I'd like to support the community by doing what I can to give feedback. Let me see if audio is working well. Yeah, audio is good. Good. Okay, so in case you're just tuning in, what I am doing right now is I am working on a macro that is going to create focus palettes automatically from an effect. So the basic gist of it is, if I can run the version that I have right now, is, let me minimize this, I'll put that right there. The version I have right now is what you see in front of you, macro 3, not 2, and 2 is the old version. And if I run that, I have to just delete some things really quick, so let me do that. Delete that, delete sub 101, and then offload it from the fader. So it's going to take group 1001, and it's going to basically load a take group 1001, put that into an effect, load it into a submaster, load that submaster onto a fader, allow you to adjust the rate at which that effect goes, and then it's going to allow you to basically press enter every time you want to save a focus palette. And so here's the version I have right now, and it's not finished yet, but I have my group 1001 here. You can see it's all these, it's all of these high beams, these high-end high beams or solar beams or whatever they're called. And the imagination is that they're like on little truss towers on stage. So I don't have to do that. We want to create like interesting looks, right? They're going to be captured, and you want them to, have some focus palettes that are interesting to the audience while they're not in a moving effect. And so I am going to work on this, run this macro, we'll run it in live, and we'll take a look at MX controls so you can see. But if I run it right now, it should work for the most part. So it's going to ask me first off, what rate do I want to run this at? And you can run it at whatever rate you want. I'm going to run it at 50%, 30%. So now, every time I hit enter, it's going to save exactly where the lights are, and I can actually, this is really fast, so I can actually adjust this rate. That's much more manageable to work at. And I am going to, so if I like the look that I see on stage, I can hit enter, and it's going to save that focus palette. And every time I hit enter, it's going to save this focus palette. Now, one of the problems I've run into already is that every time I press enter, I have to restart the effect from the beginning of the curve in order to make this work. I can't just pause it and then resume it, which is a bit of a bummer. Unfortunately, I have not found a workaround at all yet. But every time I press enter now, it's going to save that focus palette and save it. And you notice these aren't very good focus palettes, I would say. Oops, I don't know what I did there. These aren't very good focus palettes necessarily. The whole creating the effect to make it look good will happen later. I just want to get the syntax of having something generate focus palettes correct. And if you look at this screen here, you can see that every time I press enter still, because the macro loop is still going, and you see 1001 through 1007, it's creating one every time. And so all of those are focus palettes that I've created, and just by pressing enter. And it's just taking the effect data, it's stopping the effect temporarily so that it records a focus palette. If you try to record a focus palette off of an effect, normally it doesn't work, because the effect is basically this temporary state on top of the fixture's focus. And so it doesn't actually, when EOS records a focus palette, it doesn't actually look at those values. It looks at the focus underneath it, even if it's an absolute effect, as far as I know. And what you want here is that you want to basically take a look at you want to have it the effect has to stop and hold, and every time it does, it has to restart. But the stop and hold does work, and these are focus palettes being created. Now, of course, they're not very interesting. This is just one circle effect, and so I'm clicking on things when I do that, so it's really weird. But I've stopped the effect so far. So you notice now if I were to, let's go to Q out, and let's take sub 101 at 0. And cool, that's out. So let's do group 1001 now at full, and let's take a look at some of the focus palettes we've created. So none of these are super interesting. I wouldn't use any of these because most of the beams are headed at the ground. But the idea is we eventually get to a place where the look on stage is actually interesting. Like, we want to be able to look at it and just appreciate what it looks like. And so in order to do that, I want to basically do a couple things. One, I want to mirror the effect so that these ones are doing one effect and these ones are doing the other effect, because you don't want them to do all one continuous effect. And then the other thing is I have to use offset groups in order to make it so that the effect looks good, using groupings, using wings, whatever I need to. That will be the next part of the macro. So I'm pretty happy with how the macro generates things. So let's back up. Let's delete focus palette 1001. Oops, I'm missing the clear button here. Through 1015, or that'll work. And let's delete sub 101. Eventually there will be a cleanup macro for this. Shift load on the fader. Okay, so now I've reset to where before I began the macro. So now we want to ensure that this is done. Okay, great. Restart, and then I'll have it connected. Now we want to make it so that we can create pretty effects. So first way I want to do that is I want to see if I take a selection, because I want this to be as simple as possible. If I take a selection and just say, let's look at my EOS keys here. Oh, those aren't it. Offset. Oh, that didn't work. Really? That's the wrong thing? Alt 5. Oh, no, it's just not working. And I want number of groups. I want 2 groups. And I just want to be able to divide the second half. So if I hit next right now, and I want to record that selection to another group, but I have a feeling I can't do that. Because select last. Select last will select just the first part, and I can next through them, but I can't like just say, hey, divide them in half, and then let me record that to a group. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I want to just divide this selection. Oh, it worked. How did it? No, it didn't. Okay. So I want to just divide this selection and now have 301 through 309. Because select last puts the offset in there. And I don't want that. I want to be able to select 301 through 309. If I do this, if I do Shift Enter, record group, I don't know, 1000. Okay, so group 1000 is going to be all of them. Yep, that's a shame. I really, really, really want to do that because I think it's going to be essential to making the macro work. Just what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take an offset selection and put half of it, or basically, I have this group, I'm in the wrong screen. I have this group 1001 here, and I want to take group 1001 and divide it in half. So this is 301 through 309 here on, I need to turn my thing not to go to sleep. This is 301 through 309 here. And okay, just look at that. Okay, 301 through 309, and this is 310 through 318. And I want to be able to create a group off of this only, and create a separate group off of this automatically using a macro, so that when I'm creating a focus palette generator, I can have this selected differently from this and have them basically mirror each other. Now, the problem I'm running into is that if I do group 1000, if I do group 1001, I can select offset, and I can do number of groups, and I can do 2, but there's no way for me to select the first part of that group and record that off to a separate separate group. Because if I were to record group now, it would just go and recreate this exact same group, 301 through 318. It would do it in this stage, like it would have this thing, but it wouldn't let me take off the 310 through 318. And I want to know how I can do that because it's going to be essential. So group, let's try some things. So group 1001. So if we look at group 1000, 1000. If we were to just no, we can't just minus a group from it. I mean, we could, but only if we had that selection in there before. So there might not be a way to do this automatically. Let's go back to ML controls. Sure. Sorry, I should keep up here. Okay, so we still have group 1001. We still want to offset it. We want number of groups 2 because we want to be able to select the first half and the second half. Mirror in, but that's still the whole selection. Offset number of groups 2. What about group cells? No, that's the wrong thing. Eight, not 8, 9. Channels per group 9. Next. So I have this sub selection, and I guess I need to know how to create a group from a sub selection, which I don't know how to do. Nothing is in there. Channels per group 9. If you have any questions, or anyone watching have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to go through over anything augmented. This is just something I'm working on in the meantime of not really playing too much around with augmented, but just sort of trying to get work done that I've been intending to do. Reorder. No, still no. Group 1001. Offset. Still no way to choose the first half and record this off. Even with Shift Enter, it's not actually is it still like the active selection? I wonder if there's a way to minus unactive. That's so hard. If any of you are just joining me, I'm trying to take a group, offset it, and basically record the second half so I can use the first half differently than the second half, so I can automatically generate some groups. I can't seem to do that. Number of groups 2, and if I select through them, I get 301 through 309, which is what I want, but I can't seem to record that off to a group 1000 because it records the entire selection, not just the sub selection. And that's the crux of the problem. That is what we're running into. Let's look at the macro editor and see if there's any soft keys that would help with this. So let's just go into a blank macro 1. Oops, 1 in this menu. And is there like a sub selection soft key or something? No, there's not. Okay. All right. So live group 1000 group. No. Group 1000 next. And then select last. Now, it still selects the major group. It selects the top hierarchy, so it's really hard to just select those off. Unless I'm missing something. Group 1000. Can you use query? Or make null might do it. Let's try that. Group 1000, next. Make null. So now if I record group 1000, record group, well, let's do 1002. No, it still does it. It's still, even though they're nulled out, which only nulls value, which only nulls like parameter values. It doesn't null channel selection. I wonder if I can use flexi states. No, let's undo what I did. Group 1000, don't make null, just in case that screws me over later. Oops, not mark. Make null. Okay. So let's go to flexi. So this is, yeah, but even in flexi state selected, it's still pulling up the whole selection. If anyone has any insights, let me know. I would love to know. Query. Huh. Maybe. Okay, I think I found a workaround. Okay, so group 1001. Let's just say, sorry, let's do group 1000. That's our divided group. Group 1000. And let's hit next. And then we're going to record, select last, group 1000, next, shift enter, record preset 1001. Okay, so if we hit group preset 1001, oh, preset 1001 already existed, so let's delete it, and then let's go from scratch. So group 1000. Macro goal is to create an auto-generating focus palette. So basically put a whole bunch of, you see these high beams here. I want to be able to put them in an effect automatically, and then just press enter to generate focus palettes off of the effect. I have most of it down. What I'm trying to do now is basically, in any lighting design, you'd want the right half of the stage and the left half of the stage to mirror each other. And so to do that, I need to divide the selection in two, and basically put them in opposite effects so that they have a nice mirror. So I have most of the macro done. I just need to do the group creation and then also the effect manipulation part of it. So right now I'm trying to divide the group into two, and this is something I've actually wanted to do separately, and I think I have it. So if I do next now and then shift enter, record preset 1001, and so group preset 1001. All right, well, maybe I have to give them values. Select last, group 1000, next, shift enter, at full, select last, next, record, oops, select last, next, next, shift enter, record preset 1001. So group preset 1001, yes, it's only the selection that I wanted. So that is a workaround, a crazy workaround to do that whole thing, to select two halves of a thing. So we're going to delete that preset. And we are going to create the part of this macro I'm just going to learn it. And we'll just learn macro 1 because that's easy. And so it's going to be, okay, it's going to take group 1001, which is our base group. It's all of our high beams. And we're going to offset. That didn't take. Offset. Okay, offset. Oh, I got all tabbed out for some reason. Offset number of groups 2 divides the selection in half. Then we're going to hit next, or actually we are going to select last, record group 1000. So that's our divided group. Now with our divided group, we are going to select group 1000. We are going to hit next. We're going to shift enter, put those values at full so that the preset has something to go off of. And then we are going to select last, next, and shift enter, record preset 1001. Okay, so only those values got preset 1001 values. And so we're going to take the other part of the group. So we're going to shift clear, group 1000, next, at full, select last, next, record select last, next, shift enter, record preset 1002. Please, there's already a preset 1002. Preset next for now. Alright, not ideal, but we'll fix it in a second. And so now I've successfully divided those into 2. So now I can just do, so my first half, I'm going to do group preset 1001, record group 1002, group preset 1000, and I think this was 11, record group 1003. Great. And now those two, if I look at group, are half the selections. That was a really crazy workaround. Is the assumption you've selected or recorded the group from stage right or stage left, or use smart channel numbering, or otherwise offsetting group 2 won't always work? Yeah, but I feel like I can't depend on channel numbering all the time. Let's stop learning. And so I would say that in general, people create stuff like on a single line set. People will create stuff in order, and so this will divide the selection in half. I think if you're not going to do that, then like some people do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, people do that kind of stuff. I feel like the guide that would go along with the macro would be to basically say create a group that's in order of stage right to stage left, or stage left to stage right, and then record that to group 1001, which will be the base group that you want to generate focus palettes off of. I feel like that's the best answer. Yeah. I can't account for everything. That's just how I would do it. When I actually started this file, I did do channel numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it was awful for working with. And so hopefully, you just try and do the best. I'm trying to make the macro as flexible as possible, though. That is what I'm going for in general. But there will definitely be some work on the other hand. 301 through 318 recorded all of them. So let me see if I can go back and fix that. So preset 1011, or group preset 1011. Okay, I did grab all of them, which is weird. Maybe because I did sneak 301 through 308, that's probably why. So let's look at this ridiculous thing. All right, select. All right. So this is fine. Next, select last. All right. So I don't need this next. I wish I had an easy way of doing soft keys, because this isn't working right. Yeah, my stream deck's not working, which is a shame. So select last, record group 1000. That's all correct. Create. Next, repeat last command at full. That puts 301 through 309 at full, 308 at full, 309, 309, 309 at full. Select last, records 301 through 309, record preset 1. This is a screw up. Preset 1. Okay, so but in between these, I want to group preset 1001, sneak time 0, enter. I want to do that because that'll remove any values I have for those. And then clear command line, group 1000, next selects 309 through 318 at full, select last, next records 301 through 30. Yeah, I screwed up here. Record preset. Ideally, oh, I need to do repeat last command. Please tell me this is a soft key. Oh, shift enter should work. Yeah, okay. Don't need all this then. All right, record preset 1002. So, cause next at full. Okay, yeah. And clear command. I don't even know what I was trying to do here. Clear command 1. That's wrong. Okay. Were you looking at my main screen? No, I should switch on to my main screen. Sorry. Still new at streaming, dude. Apologies. Hopefully that does it. Where is my program? Yeah, okay. Sorry for everyone just staring at the stage for the last few minutes. Okay, so after this is done, record preset 1002. The idea is that we record those preset groups into okay. So group preset 1001, record group 1002, group preset, yeah, okay. That was wrong, whatever I just did. Why is it? Oh. I got on more soft keys somehow. Okay. So group preset 1002 is what it will actually be. Record group 1003. And then I don't need the rest of this, because all my groups should be created. So, let's go back and let's delete group 1000 plus 1002 through 1003. Let's delete preset. Let's just delete all my presets. Make sure I don't do that. Okay, so if I run macro one now with let's also sneak enter. Group 1001. I deleted my home preset. That's awful. Oh, what was my home preset? Is it 1? Let's go back. I think it's 1 in this file. Preset group preset 1. Yes. Yes, it is 1. So delete preset 2 through 1500. Okay. And let's now, so group 1001 is this. Okay, now let's run macro 1. Okay. So if this all worked, I should add a sneak at the end for that. We should look at group. Okay, so 1002 didn't quite work. Let's look at the syntax and find out what went wrong. But 1003 did work. So we're probably missing like a nexter or something. At full. Select last, next, repeat last command, record preset 1001. Where is the problem? So select last, we'll put group 1000 back on the command line. Next, we'll put 301 through 309 on the command line. Repeat last command, we'll put 301 and 309 on the command line. Record preset 1001. So let's see if, oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's see if I do, right now, group preset 1001. Okay, that's all of them. So that did not take. So it did not record the preset correctly for whatever reason. So macro, let's select here. All right, so group 1000 next. So my guess is that it recorded, I mean, it did record everything. I know that much. All right, so let's just, all right, let's all right, so if I want to do group 1000, then I want to do select last. Let's do it on here. So group 1000, and then I want to do, all right, I have the group 1000, then I want to do select last, next, select last, enter, next, shift enter, at full, then select last, enter next, shift enter, record preset 1001. All right, let me go back and delete, preset 1001 through 1002. All right, so sneak. All right, so group 1000. Group 1000. I'm just gonna do the syntax that's right there. Next, Shift Enter at full. All right. Oh, I could just do record only. I don't have to. That might still record. I should be able to do record only. All right. Let's just let's see that live. Back into here. Select. So I shouldn't have to do this. So I should be able to delete this, select last, record only, and then do this, and then let's fix this one too. Record only. All right, so select. All right, so let's start over again. Delete group 1000. Delete group 1002 through 1003. All right, that should take us back to where we need to be. Just in case, delete preset. Delete preset 1001 through 1005. And let's do a visual representation of this. Presets 1001 and then groups 1000 and 1000. Yeah. All right, so I still have my base group. Let's record this snapshot. Snapshot 1. All right, so, okay, group 1001, right? Those are our beams. Okay, so now macro 1 should handle it. Okay, and let's look at group display list. Worked. Bam. All right. We now have a way to divide the selection in two. That's exciting. I'm going to delete those groups. Okay. So now I want to let's learn a new macro. Let's look at our macro list and make sure we're not learning over everything. So we don't want to learn over macro. We can do let's delete 5 through 10 because we don't need any of these. And now let's learn macro 5. Let's delete effect 1001 through 1005. Okay. Learn macro 5. All right, effect 1001. Create type focus. And we can just leave that there. And then effect 1002, create type focus, and then just make it reverse. All right, learn. Let's take a look at that macro syntax. 5. So the problem is a lot of these have to be learned into because I don't think focus effect is a syntax I can put into the, let's just label 3. Focus palette. 2 is the old one. But if we go to 5, so I wonder if I can, how I can macro 3, because I don't wanna delete any of the stuff we already have. But I'm pretty sure focus effect isn't a button I can press. Oh, it is. Hey, well, that's cool. And what else was on there? Select that, and then attribute reverse steps. Okay. 1003. Sorry, macro 3. Select R for reverse steps. Reverse steps. Okay, cool. We're clear on that. All right. Select. Okay, so I think that number of control. I have to be so careful here. Number of controls. Ooh. All right. All right. So. Okay. So this is outdated now. All right, so eventually I want this to all be one macro, but in the meantime, we're just gonna put macro button 1 here. And that way it's going to execute the groups. And so group 1002. Okay, so we have to do the so let's set up the effects first. Effect. And delete that. Open effect blind. Effect 1001. Let's do 1002 just so it matches. Delete 1000. Effect 1002. And then we can make it a focus effect, because a focus effect is a thing we can do. You ever just get so overwhelmed by everything in an order that you can't find what you're looking for? Focus effect. Okay. Effect 1003 is going to be a focus effect as well, but also reverse steps. Reverse steps. And I hope that all works. Enter macro button 1, then group 1002 is going to be mapped to group 1002, effect 1002, enter group 1003, effect 1003, enter group 1001, record sub 101, map to 153, map to enter, map to sub 101, number of controls 3. I want to well, let me exit the macro first and then connect the geo to it. All right. All right. I think let's just add a sneak after recording. Enter. Unown? Wow, I did not know that was a command. Sneak time 0. Alright, so let's connect the geo. Hopefully it just works. Hey, it did. Synchronizing with master. Okay. So, shift update. Alright, I want to run macro 3 now. Big moment. So my group 1001, let's just sneak enter. Let's edit macro 3 really quick with a, I want to edit macro 3 to clear the ranges of things that I'm using. So select delete preset 1000 through 1000. Three. Disaster. Oh my gosh. Delete sub 101. I need to add double enters all there. I'll delete focus palette 1001. Delete group 1000 plus group 1002 through. I think eventually I'll make it the other way around, but for now. And then I need to delete the effects too. Okay. And then delete effect through 1002. Enter. All right, let's see if all of that works. I wish I could create like an undo point. All right, macro 3. All right. I already knew it screwed up because I don't have the right number of groups or the right number of presets. So let's escape and go back to live. Okay. So there's a lot of things it didn't do. I wonder if that's because it was running in the background or something. Let's make sure it runs all in the foreground. Okay, so oh, and let's make sure. Oh, oops, macro 1 should be running in the foreground anyway. All right, let's just try it again with running in the background. So group 1001. All right, let's delete this. I'll delete it manually. But let's do macro 3. Okay. I saw a lot of errors. I think it's because I don't switch back to live. Sorry, escape, please. All right. Let's delete that focus palette. Delete sub 101. Okay. So macro. Let's make sure I'm in live. Open blind effect 1, focus effect, Mac. Okay, live. I think that's gonna help a lot. And let's go back and hit macro 3. Okay. Things happened. I think most of it's there. So I can adjust the rate and the thing, and it created some effects. Did not create... Okay, so some of the effects were properly created. Let's see if the groups were properly created. I already think I know the answer to that. Well, actually, it looks like the groups are properly created too. The effect is not, because the effect is not moving. So let's see where we're at. Okay. So let's look at effects here. So 1001 was successfully created as a focus effect. 1002 was successfully created. So did I just botch my numbering somewhere with the macro? Yes, I did. I want this to be effect 1001. I want this to be effect 1002. I want to delete that. Delete that. Okay. I want to take a look through my... I did get an error at some point. Maybe need to slow down the footage and just take a look at what it's erroring. Or add some temporary macro weights in order to see it, but I think slowing it down is probably a better thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're pretty close here. Streaming for an hour, yay! Okay, so one of the changes. Oh, I think I'm pretty good. Oh, let's just check it to make sure the groups are created correctly. Yep, the groups are created correctly. All right, so let's go ML controls, and we should be able to run Macro3 just right off the bat, and it should work. Okay. Let's put this at 20%. And okay, I forgot to sneak enter after creating the preset because they're in preset, which means they're at full, which I'm not a huge fan of. Highlight's supposed to be on, and it's not, and that's a shame. I wonder if getting highlight to turn on reliably is kind of a pain in the ass. But let's escape out of it. Alright, macro. Select. So highlight enable. Alright. I want to escape, learn. Nope, don't learn. Escape. Learn. Macro. 6. Alright. Shift. Highlight. Learn. Alright. Macro. Alright. Highlight append. Okay. I don't think highlight enable works. I don't think... Well, let's just try highlight enable in its own macro. 7. Select highlight common enable enter. So live, oops, let's not do that. Select live, macro 7. Macro 7. Okay, it always does it. Macro 7. It always turns on highlights, so I don't know why it's turning highlight off. Or maybe they just weren't highlighted. That could be too. So macro 3, select. Okay, so right before they are set to be recorded, okay, so yeah, they're not selected. So I want to do group. Oh God, what did I just do? Okay, no, that's correct. Sub 101 at full. So 1. All right, that should do it. That should put it on the command line. And highlighted. So now the next thing I need to do is go back into macro 1 and add a sneak time 0. Enter. Live. Oops. Oh, well, that's fine. All right, live. All right. So again, macro 3 should take care of everything, including deleting what I need to delete. But let's at least sneak enter macro 3. Okay, let's put it at 50%. Okay, definitely did not work. So escape. I think that we're close. Let's manually delete everything we need to delete. I am getting a number out of range error. We want to delete both of these. Okay. And delete sub 101. Okay. Shift load that. Okay, cool. All right. So delete effect 1000 through 1003. Okay. Live. All right. So macro. So macro 3. All right. So what's going on here? Open effect blind. Okay, well that's one of the problems. Those are mismatched now. Delete. Delete. Okay. That's at least fixed. Okay. So I am wondering. All right. Let's add weights at the end of each one. No, let's not add it there. I want to add it before this. Weight 3. Weight 3. Weight 3. Weight 3. Weight 4, just so I know what happens right before that. All right, let's try that. Shift update. Macro 3. error submaster does not exist. That's fine. Okay. I think I need a clear command line. Before each of these. Shift clear, shift clear, shift clear, shift clear. All right. So select live macro 3, 2, 1. Does not exist. Okay, it's waiting for me to put in the fader value. But it's not running the effect. Sub 1, does it need to be reasserted? No. Okay. So I'm noticing that 1001 and 1002. So let's escape right now. Group 1002, effect 1001 isn't working because they're not focus effects. So focus effect did not take. So let's look at my macro and the macro I used to create that. So maybe I can't do it in the same command line. So let's go to 3, back to 3. Let's go down here. Effect, enter, focus effect, enter. And then we know that the reverse steps is taking, but let's just, for posterity, let's just do that. Select live. Okay, so let's delete again everything I need to delete. It should happen automatically, but in the troubleshooting portion of this, I'm not going to qualm too much sub 101. And then I need to take a short break, which I am not prepared to do because I don't have I need like an icon or something. Let's add something here. Add input, image. Okay. Sorry, I'm just preparing to take a bathroom break. But let's just continue on for now. Okay. So turn highlight off. Let's execute the macro. So macro 3. Let's also, shift unload the fader. Macro 3. Okay, it's waiting a second so we can see what if there are any code problems. Something did not exist. It's not important. And a whole bunch of shit's gonna happen at once. Okay. Fader at 20%. Okay, so. Okay, we now have, if we look, okay. Ideally, these effects are timed the same, but that doesn't seem to be happening. I think I need to reverse the second group in order to get them to line up exactly. But if I hit enter now, it'll record a focus palette. Yeah, so I think that's just the timing I need. Although, these are, I don't know. But it's mostly working, and then I can, if I have a console with faders, I can slow this down, and I can also increase the size of it without interrupting the macro, which is really handy. So let me try reversing that second group, although... No, I mean, reversing the effect should only make it spin the other way. It doesn't actually change a thing. Okay, so let's stop this. Oh, shoot. I did some bad things. Escape. All right. Let's live sneak enter. Delete sub 101. Let's delete some groups and some unload the fader. And then we're just gonna hope that the effects get deleted properly as per the macro. But we should have everything in working order now, except the one adjustment I'm going to make is going to macro 1, select. And so this one, group preset 1002, soft keys, offset, reverse. Okay, that should do it. Select live. Okay, let's try again. Very excited about this. I love how everything just kind of happens at once too, because eventually the weights go away. 4 seconds. And it asks me to put my rate in. I might get rid of that, but we'll see. Okay, so they're definitely not in sync, which is a big bummer. And I don't know if that's a problem, where that problem is. Because ideally, these two units would be in line with each other. Let's make sure, let's escape out and make sure our group's recorded correctly. They did. Okay, so they're mirroring in. I might have just, oh, my math might be incorrect. Snapshot 1, please. The live snapshot 1. Thank you. Okay, so what is it? That's 309, and that's... So I might just have to recreate it so that these match up. Like, this should be 318. Well, no, because it should be reversed. I think this is a grouping problem more than the problem on the effect side. So I could just reverse those and patch. I mean, it's not the best solution, but it is a solution. I wonder if reversing them in patch would fix the problem. That's what I want to know, even if it's not the right solution. Okay, so reverse 312. Three 310. All right. We're gonna 310 So if I do swap with 312, does that just swap patch? But they're augmented. It's just swap patch. Alright, so that doesn't help me. Eventually there'll have to be a way to do this. Okay. So we're close. We're close. But because all right, so let's. Because we need it to be mirrored over the line so that this group is the same as that group. I don't think mirrored in would help us. Would interleaving help? Alright, so group 1001. Interleave 3. Next. Oh god, that didn't work. Oh, interleave plus channel 3. Group 1001. Offset. Interleave 3. Interleave is a command? Next. Okay. So maybe the way I'm recording these groups is incorrect. And the source groups actually need to be this because the ones on top need to match. So let's see if I can figure out a way to do that. I mean, I still have to use the first half and second half of the selection to do circle this way, circle that way. But all these need to match. But then that's heavily dependent on your setup, right? So, like, you might... It'd be great if I could do this. What if the effect had groupings? Effect, 1001. Bing 3. 1002. I don't think this is a solution, but I'm curious of what it does. Let's reinsert the sub. Okay. So I'm convinced, I think if these units were to swap, the top and the bottom units, it would be fixed because it would be the same order. So what is this one? This is 309, and this is 308, and this is 307. And on this one, 310 is the lowest, 311, 312. I have to know if that's true. I have to know if that. But I also need it to. I need to work if. I need it to work dynamically with different selection sets. Because in theory, like, you'd want to channel your stuff like this. So how can I adapt it if I were to, well, I mean, okay, so if I were channeling this 301, 302, 303, 304, 305, 306, 307, 308, 309, 310, 311, 312. Yeah, I would still do it that way. I wouldn't just suddenly start going lowest to highest. So I need to modify group 1003, right? So that it goes 316, 317, 318. Okay, I'm pressing last, not next. Group 1003, next. And it needs to go the same order from bottom to top as group 1002, which starts in the bottom. So how do I do that? Next. So 316 needs to be the first. And then 317 and then 318. Okay. So group 1003 offset. What order from group is. 318, 319. Oh god. All right. Sorry, I'm stuck right now. I'm stuck. Because there's no way to, like, once this happens, there's no way to get it out of the sub-selections, a little parentheses thing. So I can't do that even if I wanted to. But if I do group 1003 and then, well, let's just do 310 through 318. That goes bottom to top. So maybe we just can't reverse it. So, yeah, as soon as we reverse it, because of the way we do it, it doesn't work. So I have to get rid of that reverse. But I need to I need to do. All right, I'm just staring at it. Update. What do I need to do? So now I have two groups, but the units need to match. Unless that is a whole selection divided in half for the effect, I don't think I can do that. Because there's no way, like, these units are not going to match. 3-9 and 3-12. 306, 315, 301, 318. Those units are not going to match. Okay, well, I am going to call it here because I need to think about solutions and I don't have one right now. I want to thank everyone for watching. Apologies that I did not get as far as I wanted to, but I think I made good progress. I just can't figure out this next part, and I just have to think on it. Thank you. If you were watching, thank you so much for watching. And if you are not watching, then, well, you know, how are you listening to this? But whatever your purpose is, have a wonderful day. Thanks. And end stream. Just kidding.